Welcome back to Cleveland Browns Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio, alongside the 7-time Pro Bowler Torrey Holt. I am Chris Rose, and you could not ask for a better day at the end of November in Cleveland, Ohio. Temperature approaching 40 degrees. Winds minimal, as you can see, almost not a cloud in the sky. Just a gorgeous afternoon, and at this time of year, you're always wondering about the field conditions and the wind here in Cleveland. You walked the field. Everything look okay down there?
Yeah, it did. The football guys shined down on this team today, on this stadium today. It looks good out here. The fields were well managed. These guys should be able to do their things on these fields.
Well, John Fox, you can see, hanging out with Ed Johnson and his Pro Bowl linebacker John Beeson, still smiling even though just 1-9. In fact, if the Panthers do not win today for the first time in his 9 years on the Carolina sideline, he will have a 10-loss season. Well, the Panthers have won something. That would be the coin toss. They have elected to receive. So that means the 13-year pro, Phil Dawson, will kick it away. And the Panthers, injuries and inconsistencies, so a new man returning kicks. It's their starting wide receiver. The rookie David Geddes is back there. He's returned just 2 kicks this season.
He had a good week last week versus the Baltimore Ravens. Let's see if we can continue today, starting with the kickoff return. Let's see what we do with it.
And we are underway in Cleveland. Geddes from the 12, dragged down at the 19-yard line by Eric Alexander, just signed this past week to do just that. And so here's the rookie second-round pick out of Notre Dame, Jimmy Clausen, making his 5th NFL start this season.
And Jimmy Clausen just has to relax today. And he talked about getting the ball out of his hands quickly today. Let that run game get going, which will create great passing lanes for him, and he has to do a great job of putting the ball in place in these guys' hands.
Panthers come out in a 2 tight end set, just 1 receiver. That's Steve Smith, and this is Mike Goodson off the left side, spins forward for about 8. And Goodson making his 3rd straight start as we take a look at the rest of the Carolina offense. Jonathan Stewart is back active after missing the last 2 games with a concussion. They are very young out wide with the exception of their 4-time Pro Bowler, Steve Smith.
And Steve Smith has to be a guy that they got to get the ball to quickly today. Whether screens, reverses, they got to do something to get him involved early in this football game. Get him engaged.
2nd and 3. Clausen again hands off to Goodson, who pops outside, has enough for the first down, and he is shoved out by the Browns rookie T.J. Ward. That Browns defense forced 6 turnovers last week in the loss at Jacksonville. Veteran in their front 7, especially at linebacker. Few injuries. Scott Fujita inactive today, replaced by David Bowens. And in the secondary, Eric Wright a no-go with a bum knee. So the first-round pick, Joe Hayden, takes his place.
And Joe Hayden is a very confident young guy that I'm looking forward to watching today. And he'll have his opportunities here in the passing game. Let's see what he does with it.
1st and 10 for the Panthers at the 31. First pass attempt for Clausen, trying to set up a screen. It's read well by the Browns, but Goodson makes something out of it. Gains about 3. Well, the Carolina Panthers, as we talked about at the beginning of the telecast, have had issues at quarterback ever since Jake Delhomme was cut in March. Matt Moore, the 4th-year pro, was given the starting job. He was yanked after just 2 starts, so Clausen got in there. He said his head was spinning out of control. They went back to Moore, then Clausen. Last week, Brian St. Pierre signed off the street. He got a spot start as well. So obviously a lot of inconsistency at that position. It's Goodson up the middle, about 2 yards shy of the first down.
And the problem with the different quarterbacks, there's, like you said, because there's no continuity, there's no consistency, and every week all these guys do different things different. But they can never get any continuity, any consistency with the receivers, with the quarterbacks, with the backs, and it just affects the football team as the season goes.
3rd and 2 with Jonathan Stewart in the backfield. He gets the ball, and he gets the first down. Up near the 45. Stewart had a concussion over the last 2 weeks. But he ends up running for about 6 and the first down.
You know, it's good to see Jonathan Stewart back here. He was a handoff here, and he just hits the hole immediately. It's good to have him back in the lineup to take some pressure off of Goodson. Now they have a 1-2 punch with Jonathan Stewart. Great cut, great move. A good game there for their offense in the running game.
Nice start by Jimmy Clausen and the Panthers, who are approaching midfield. Clausen looking downfield. Pressure, just throws it up and out of bounds. Was he outside the tackle box? That's what David Bowens and the Browns defense is claiming. Well, the referees are going to have a little meeting, and they have dropped the flag.
Play action there. Just looking for someone out of it. A good job by the coverage team on the back end.
Intentional grounding, number 2 of the offense. Ball will be placed in the spot of the foul. Lost it down, second down.
That is our referee, Jeff Triplett. Good job by the officials getting together and conferring to make that call that Clausen was indeed inside of the tackle box.
Absolutely, great call. But I like the headiness of Clausen. Nothing there trying to get rid of the football, but he's got to get out of the tackle box in order to make it a decent play.
So a 13-yard loss and a loss of down makes it 2nd and long for the Panthers. Stewart off the right side, bounces outside, gets up past the 40 and back up near the original line of scrimmage before Abram Elam and David Bowens bring him down. So it'll be 3rd and long, and this Browns defense, as you can see, 23 consecutive games without allowing an opening possession touchdown.
That is very impressive. That's how you set the tone for your football team, is by holding teams out of the end zone on open drives. Very impressive.
Only 19 first quarter points all year has Rob Ryan's squad. Ryan, of course, the defensive coordinator. 3rd and 11. Clausen from the shotgun. Looking deep downfield, and it is caught by Steve Smith, the man you were talking about. Look how excited he is.
We said it earlier. There he is there in the slot. Steve Smith there in the slot, working to get open, slips inside, and just a quick dig route. Great throw by Clausen. Good job by Steve Smith going up and getting the ball.
End of the play, first down.
And you can tack on 15 as Sean Rogers, big baby, nails Jimmy Clausen in the head. So now the Panthers on this first drive had it all the way down to the Browns 26. They've done a great job of mixing it up. A few runs, nice conversion on 3rd and long there. Tack on the penalty as well. Now it is Goodson in the backfield. Off the right side, he bursts through, and it is Goodson all the way to the end zone for a touchdown.
Wow, look at this run. This is exactly, look at Goodson here. He just hit the hole, and he talked about this yesterday, just hitting the hole. He talked about this yesterday, just hitting the hole. This team likes the 2-gap, hit the hole, and there it was right there. Great example. Good job by Goodson. A great job out of that offensive line on the scoring drive.
John Casey, the 20-year vet, on to add the PAT. And it is 7-0. Mike Goodson's first career touchdown has given the Panthers the early lead. The Carolina Panthers just scored their first quarter touchdown all season, and the drive, an outstanding one led by their rookie quarterback Jimmy Clausen. It covered 81 yards, 43 of those by Mike Goodson. Reese Lloyd kicking it off to the Pro Bowler Josh Cribbs, back after missing last week's game with an injury, and he is dragged down at the 23-yard line by C.J. Wilson. So Jake Delhomme has some work to do against his former team. Back on a beautiful day in Cleveland, Ohio, and a beautiful start for the road team. The Panthers, their first quarter touchdown all season. Well-balanced drive, and now it is the former Carolina Panther, Jake Delhomme, at the helm in a starting role for the first time since opening week, and he is throwing it and hitting his tight end Benjamin Watson for a gain of about 8. Torrey, let's take a look at the touchdown.
And we're going to point out tight end Jeff King and 65 Williams, right tackle. And look at the job that they do coming off the line of scrimmage to open up an easy hole for Goodson to slide through there for the touchdown. And a missed tackle right there by 43 Ward.
T.J. Ward, the Browns' leading tackler. Now 2nd and 2. Delhomme looking, firing, hitting Brian Robisky for the first down. And for the first time this afternoon, let's check in with Kurt Menefee back in Los Angeles for an update.
Talk about a great opening drive. Donovan McNabb 8 for 8, 84 yards and a touchdown to Fred Davis. And the Redskins lead the Vikings 7-0. And I guess while we're talking about great openings, welcome aboard, Torrey Holt.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, it looks like Donovan has gotten himself in some shape.
Of course, the Vikings with a new leader at the helm, Leslie Frazier, taking off for the fired Brad Childress. Delhomme, 3rd straight pass, and that one hitting Watson, a beautiful throw and catch down to the Panther 43.
And Chris, when we were at practice this week, we saw them throwing the ball a lot to the tight ends. And here they are today's game against the Panthers, throwing to the tight ends. Great job by Jake Delhomme, and great job by Benjamin Watson getting open. This is the guy that's been consistent in the passing game for this football team.
Watson in his 7th season out of Georgia, his first after spending the previous 6 with the New England Patriots. 1st and 10. Browns with 3 straight passes, and now their first run. It's Hillis up the middle, gets down to the 36. And Jake Delhomme making just his 2nd start for the Browns, his first here at home, but he even admitted this week he's going to be a lifelong Carolina Panther.
Yeah, he's a Panther. I mean, he played several years. They had a lot of success, took that team to the Super Bowl, and he is a Carolina Panther, but he is trying to finish up here in Cleveland. He's doing a good job thus far starting out, getting this Cleveland Browns offense down the football field.
6-yard gain by Hillis. 4 receivers set for the Browns. Delhomme hits Robisky right at the sticks. And that's going to be another first down as we take a look at the rest of the Browns offense led by Peyton Hillis. His first year after the offseason trade from Denver has been an outstanding one, but last week held to just 48 yards in the loss at Jacksonville, in part because these guys admitted they didn't do their job.
They did admit that, but Peyton Hillis is a guy that wants to deliver punishment every time he touches the football, and they have to do a good job this game here to give him some lanes where he can get off in the running game.
Delhomme gets it out to Chancey Stuckey inside the 30, and he's got some room down inside the 10 and pushed out at the 8-yard line. Charles Godfrey saves the touchdown.
Well-designed play. Quick pass out to Stuckey on the screen there. Comes down in motion here. They get it to him real quick, and the offensive line did a good job of getting out. Look at big 73 Joe Thomas getting out there, and Stuckey cuts it up inside for a big gain for the Cleveland Browns.
The Browns have come out firing this afternoon. Delhomme is hit safely on all 5 of his attempts, and the Panthers are going to use a timeout on the field. The Browns are down, but they are driving thanks to the former Panther Delhomme. Carolina leads it 7-0 in Cleveland, but the Browns are inside the Panthers' 10 thanks to Jake Delhomme.
Jake Delhomme is on fire, 5 for 5, 63 yards. He's doing a really good job in this possession here. And let's see if he can finish it with a touchdown.
2 tight ends set for the Browns. Hillis in the backfield. It will be Hillis off the right side. He's going to throw it. He's got a wide open receiver, and he can't find him. He was looking for the tight end, Benjamin Watson, and Torrey, this is something we saw at practice on Friday.
These guys are doing exactly what we saw in practice. He hit him in practice, though. Right there, he just missed him low. Great job, but that's what the run games does. When you are successful at the run game, it brings everybody up. Everybody brings so much attention to Peyton Hillis. Benjamin Watson wide open. I'm sorry. Tight end wide open in the end zone. Dropped it. Watson.
So now 2nd and goal out of the shotgun. Delhomme looking. just fires it instead of throwing it out of bounds, and it was nearly picked off.
Close.
Pressured there by Derek Landry and Charles Johnson as well.
Really good coverage downfield by the Carolina Panthers secondary. And this is what these guys do. These guys can cover. Richard Marshall, as you see there on Brian Robisky, good coverage there. And then you look on the other side. Great coverage again, the safety Godfrey. And look at the job Beeson does with the patience and staying with Watson. Jake Delhomme just has to get rid of this ball.
And there's a flag down.
Number 17 of the offense. Although he was out of the pocket, the quarterback did not get the ball back to the line of scrimmage. Lost it down. Third down.
So they're saying even though Delhomme was out of the pocket, you have to get the ball back near the line of scrimmage, and he did not do that.
And Jake's a veteran. And Jake's a veteran guy. He knows better than that. Throw the ball out of bounds. Get rid of the ball. Let's live to play another down.
So it is a loss of down as well. And that would make it third down, which is what they have down on the field. However, the referees are getting together yet again. In the meantime, Delhomme, guy who had an outstanding preseason, he won the starting quarterback job, was starting to develop some chemistry with the young receivers, Massaquoi and Robisky, a guy who came into today's game with just 9 catches. He already has 2 on this first drive.
And that's a guy that we talked about in the meetings that has to step up for this football team is Brian Robisky. And today he's doing that. And Jake's doing a good job of finding him in the passing game. They just have to continue doing that as the game progresses.
Delhomme, the opening day starter, suffered a high ankle sprain at the end of the first half, the loss down in Tampa. Gutted it out for the rest of that game. Was on the shelf for a few weeks.
Third down.
Came in relief duty in week 5 against Atlanta. Said he probably pushed it a little too much, re-injured himself, and has been serving as a mentor to Colt McCoy ever since. Now third and goal from the 20. Panthers showing blitz. Delhomme changing things up. Play clock under 3. Just gets it off. Delhomme looking downfield for more. He has it for a touchdown. Oh, but he drops it. However, there is a flag down several of them.
Looks like we have a hold in here.
And John Beeson cannot believe it if it is indeed against the Panthers.
Maybe it looked like a little hold in there.
They might be looking at a helmet to helmet. Who knows at this point? Let's take a look.
There's more in the slot. Number 89 versus Richard Marshall, 31. And it looks like a little hold in there by Marshall. He got outmanned there.
That is Sherrod Martin.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Illegal contact, number 31 of the defense. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 23 of the defense, coming to helmet contact. Half the distance from the goal, automatic first down.
So it was indeed the helmet-to-helmet hit. We have seen the NFL cracking down on this sort of thing over the last few years.
Right there, right there. Look at that head. They are cracking down on this. I mean, time and time, week after week, we're seeing these plays happen. And they are putting the hammer down on these types of plays.
So now the Browns have it first and goal at the 9. Hillis off the left side, inside the 5 and inside the pylon for a touchdown. For Hillis, his 9th rushing touchdown this season, and as you can see, pretty good company when it comes to scoring 10 total touchdowns in his first 10 games.
Look at the company that he is in. Jim Brown, Bobby Mitchell, Leroy Kelly. What a class to be with. These guys were very prominent figures for this Cleveland Browns football team, and Peyton Hillis is right up there with them.
Hillis with the dive to get the Browns on the board. Phil Dawson on for the PAT. And we are tied. Who would have thunk it? An offensive explosion in the early going in Cleveland. Well, Peyton Hillis misfired through the air on a pass attempt to Benjamin Watson, so I figured, what the heck, I'll just do it myself. And he did from 9 yards out. We are tied at 7 in Cleveland, Ohio. Look at Hillis. After one drive, he's already dirty.
He's a beast.
Dawson boots it away. Geddes from the 6. Tripped up at the 24-yard line. And that's where the Panthers will start their second drive. It's 7-7 in Cleveland.
Washing this down. And then what a job by Vickers on the block here versus Beeson. Look at that block, ladies and gentlemen. And Peyton Hillis does the rest. And such athleticism Peyton Hillis shows at the end of this run. This kid is a beast. If they could do this, continue to do this the rest of the game, Panthers are in trouble.
First down for the Panthers, and they get almost nothing. And let's send it out to Los Angeles. Kirk Menefee and a game break.
Well, we showed you the Redskins scoring on their opening drive. How about the Vikings answering with a touchdown on their opening possession? Adrian Peterson, 5-yard score, evens the count at 7 apiece late in the first quarter. And Tori, I know this is your first game at Fox, but you're in Chris Rose's hometown, so I'm sure he took care of you.
Yeah, he is. He's been great to me.
Well, the Browns have an injury. It is Sheldon Brown. And the Browns a little thin in the secondary. We'll update you on his condition after this. Looks like the Browns are working on the right shoulder of cornerback Sheldon Brown.
Yeah, it does. He comes here on the from the corner.
Just kind of gets caught up in the
caught
pile.
in there. Yeah, he does.
Now, he left the Browns' last home game 2 weeks ago against the Jets early on after injuring his shoulder.
It looks like he dinged it up again. But this guy's been a constant for this football team since they brought him in.
He's been a constant in the league with 138 consecutive starts. So that man, Mike Adams, who missed last week's loss with a strained abdomen, has replaced Brown at the cornerback position. Clausen facing a blitz, loses the ball, and Ataba Rubin picks it up. There's no signal. And now Jeff Triplett is finally signaling that it was an incomplete forward pass. And it was Mike Adams with the pressure.
Like Mike Adams came from the slot there, number 20.
All he did was just manhandle Mike Goodson back into Clausen.
Yes, he did.
So it is 3rd and 10, and Sheldon Brown is back into the game. Clausen from the shotgun. Steps up, throws it up in the air, and the ball's almost picked off by Adams.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what, they're doing a good job right here. Getting pressure on Clausen, moving him off his spot. And good job by Rodgers there, as you saw.
It was Rodgers who got the earlier penalty for the hit to the head on Clausen. Jason Baker punts it away to Cribbs. Tripped up, spins forward to the 36-yard line. Well, coming up next, our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader continues with America's Game of the Week as Michael Vick leads the Eagles against the Bears in a showdown between the first-place teams. Some of you will get the Buccaneers and the Ravens. Coverage begins right after our game here on Fox. And Michael Vick certainly, Tori, in the MVP discussion.
Absolutely. He's having a phenomenal year.
Well, Vick has been all systems go the last few weeks against the Redskins and the Giants. See what that stout defense from the Windy City has in store for him. Jake Delhomme, 5 for his first 6. Fakes the pass, hands off to Hillis, who mushes forward for about 4 before the scrum pushes him back, led by Charles Johnson. Well, Hill is part of that outstanding running back class out of the University of Arkansas. Teamed with Darren McFadden of the Oakland Raiders and Felix Jones of the Dallas Cowboys. And look at the numbers they put up there in Hogsville.
Oh, man, can you imagine having these three guys on your football team? Oh, my goodness.
And then how about the year each of them are having? Hillis and McFadden outstanding in the AFC. Jones still kind of finding his way under Jason Garrett there in Dallas. Here Delhomme looking downfield, incomplete. Massaquoi did not get his head around in time.
Did not get his head around. It looked like he was confused, like he didn't know what route he was running or the depth of the route. Jake Delhomme, I think, was looking for him to cut it a little quicker, and Massaquoi wanted to get it a few more steps. As you see here, Massaquoi, their head's not around, ball's up and out, and his head was not around. I mean, you cannot catch footballs that way with running those types of inconsistent routes.
So 3rd and 6 for Delhomme. We've seen a lot of shotgun by the Browns early on. That is Evan Moore, tight end in motion. Blitz by the Panthers. And incomplete intended for Watson. However, there are flags down on the opposite end of the field.
Looked like a little holder.
If so, that would be an automatic first down for the Browns.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 20 of the defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That is on Chris Gamble. Welcome back to the Buckeye State. Of course, he was part of that 2003 NCAA championship team for The Ohio State University. Did not start today. Captain Munnerlyn got the start over on the left side. 1st and 10 at the 45. Delhomme hits Vickers out of the backfield, but he cannot hang on. Spun down there by Jason Williams, who's making his first NFL start.
Good play by Jason Williams right there.
So what do you think of Jake Delhomme at this point? He's been on the bench pretty much since the opening week. He played sparingly in week 5 against the Falcons. But we're seeing some different things out of this offense than we had over the last 5 weeks with a rookie under center.
Absolutely. I think he looks good. He looks like a guy that's definitely in control of this offense. And this is something that he brings. He knows the offense. He knows this defense. And he can put this team in great plays every single down.
Leapfrogs his way for about 7.5.
I mean, Hillis, once again, I mean, look at the athleticism that this guy continues to show on the football field. And I think he's patting that little jump that he has there in his game. I mean, he has that down pat.
Yeah, he told us that his older brother Kyle tried it in high school, so he gave it a look. And if you've watched any Browns games this year, you've seen him jump through the air, not so much with the greatest of ease at times.
And I'm sure his brother said, I taught him that.
3rd and 3. Delhomme looking. And incomplete. He had Robisky wide open, but it looks like it might be a late hit on Charles Johnson against Delhomme.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. 95 to defense. Blow to the head. 15 yards, automatic first down.
3rd time here in the opening quarter. The quarterback has been roughed in this game.
Hey, I love the aggressions of Charles Johnson, 95, but
got to get it down.
The play is gone. The ball is out. Let him go and stay away from his head.
So now the Browns inside the Panthers 35. Browns going with a 2 tight end formation. Play action. Delhomme looking deep downfield. Hits Massaquoi. Gets it down to the 15 and another Browns first down.
All set up by the play action fake to Hillis. All set up by the play action fake to Peyton Hillis. And then here we got Massaquoi there in the slide. And all he's going to do is just run a quick drag across the football field. And Delhomme, time in the pocket because of the play action, brings everybody up. And he just waits and he hits Massaquoi right going across the field there on the drag. Good catch. He made up for the one that he didn't get his head around on.
Big game for Massaquoi as well, who grew up in the Charlotte area. The Panthers were his favorite team while growing up at Independence High. He won 4 straight state championships with that program. Quick toss to Hillis off the left side. He's got some space, spins inside the 10, inside the 5, close to another Browns first down. Hillis just rumbling along.
Look at the block, Massaquoi. It's the same area that they scored the last time. And different formation, different guys doing the same thing. They sealing down the end with Massaquoi, the receiver position. And Joe Thomas and Vickers are kicking everything else out. And Peyton Hillis is just running the football. Good job, good play call there for the Cleveland Browns.
Just a little shy of the first down, 2nd and short. Ball inside the 5. It's Hillis again, up the gut. Touchdown, Browns. And just like that, Peyton Hillis is the first Cleveland Browns running back since Kevin Mack in 1986 with 10 rushing touchdowns in a season. Dawson on to add the PAT. And Cleveland with 14 unanswered points. Let's take a look at the touchdown.
And look at Peyton Hillis in the backfield. And just look at his feet. Just look at his ability to shift and run men over for the touchdown. Very physical guy, the point of attack, touchdown Hillis. But very, very nimble, a big guy, very nimble, can move his feet, as you saw there for the touchdown.
This is a guy that Eric Mangini has coveted for quite some time. Even back in Mangini's days coaching the Jets, he was preparing to play the Broncos in Thanksgiving of 2008. Hillis at that point was the 7th-string running back in Denver because of injuries, got his shot to be a starter. Mangini said, I want to get that guy. In fact, he tried to trade for him last year, but the Broncos wouldn't bite. It worked in the offseason as the Browns sent Brady Quinn out to Denver, and it has worked out beautifully for the Browns.
And when your head coach wants you on your football team, you have to go out and get this guy. It's not like a scout or someone wanted Peyton Hillis. Eric Mangini wanted him on the Cleveland Browns football team. So you definitely know that he saw something in Peyton Hillis that could help his football team, and he brought him in. And boy, has he delivered.
So for the 3rd time in the first quarter, Phil Dawson will kick it away. It's the rookie Geddes out of Baylor from the 6. Gets around the edge, close to the 30. However, there is a flag down.
Holding return team number 42. After this goal, first down.
That is Tony Fiametta, already the 5th flag on the Panthers. And quickly, let's get an update from Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles.
Tennessee starting its 13 quarterback Rusty Smith today. He threw a pick that led to a Houston touchdown. Miss Arian Foster 16-yard reception after the pick set up a 1-yard score from Matt Shaw to Joel Dreesen with 7-0. Chris and Tori.
Thank you, Kurt. Of course, a crazy AFC South. 1 through 4 separated by just 2 games. Goodson with a quick pitch off the left side gets about 2 before he's dragged down by a bevy of Browns. We saw great balance out of the Panthers, which is exactly what John Fox has wanted all year. And you know, over the last few years, the running game has been so critical. But Goodson is a guy that was their 4th running back. They had injuries in front of him, and he's taking advantage of the opportunity presented to him.
He sure is. And John Fox's football teams, they're physical defensively, and they get after you in the run game offensively. And Goodson has stepped in and done an awesome job. And he talked about adding some weight, and he's done that. And boy, has it showed up, and it's improved his running game.
Well, this time he is dropped quickly by T.J. Ward, the 2nd-round pick out of Oregon. We saw him miss a tackle on the Goodson TD run, but not this time.
Not this time. He shot the hole there. He saw something that said run, and he shot the whole boy, and did he come down with a play there? Good job by T.J. Ward. This kid is this is one of their young talents in the secondary. He and Joe Hayden here for this Cleveland secondary in years to come are going to be a very good secondary.
Jonathan Stewart has checked into the backfield now on 3rd and long. And it's a handoff and another quick drop, and this one by Sean Rogers. That was Dante Rosario, the backup tight end. As the Panthers were trying to trick the Browns, it didn't work.
Look at Sean Rogers there standing up this time. Showing some athleticism. But he can do this on every down. He can dominate a football game when he wants to. This is a matter of when he wants to do it. And right there, he did it.
So the Panthers went backward after the penalty on the kickoff. Baker out of his own end zone. Good kick to Cribbs at his 35. Has some room, gets it up to midfield. Dragged down, but not before he gets inside of Panthers territory. Well, Fox tonight, a Thanksgiving tragedy strikes an all-new Simpsons. Now somebody or something's got to go, or this is going to be one holiday for the birds. Don't miss an all-new episode of The Simpsons at 8/7 Central tonight on Fox.
Yeah.
Hope everybody out there had an outstanding Thanksgiving Day holiday. John Fox and the Panthers spending the weekend in Cleveland. Scored a touchdown on their opening drive, but they watched Peyton Hillis run for 2, giving the Browns the 7-point lead. Delhomme swings it out to Hillis. He's got a first down and then some all the way down to the 30. And Peyton Hillis with his team-leading 41st catch this year.
Just a simple swing. Nothing downfield, hit him, and he's dug the rest. And another thing about Peyton Hillis, when he was a young boy at 6 years old,
end around to Carlton Mitchell. Inside the 25, inside the 20, and that is going to do it for the first 15 minutes. Action-packed it was. 3 touchdowns, 2 coming from the Browns. They lead it 14-7. Back in Cleveland, and the Browns on the move, up 14-7, beginning of the second quarter. Great start for Jake Delhomme, making his first start since opening day. 2nd and short. It is Hillis. Gets close to the first down. Looks like maybe he is a little shy. And welcome back inside the broadcast booth alongside the 7-time Pro Bowler Torrey Holt. I am Chris Rose, and Torrey, we talked about maybe Jake Delhomme having to dial it back a little bit. He'd be so anxious playing against his former team. It's been anything but that so far.
Yes, it has, and they have established the line of scrimmage with the run game, which allows him to do more play action, which creates bigger lanes for Jake Delhomme. And man, has he been fluid and been consistent in the passing game. Over 100 yards in the first quarter. Great job by Jake Delhomme starting out.
Well, Hillis was a little shy, so it is 3rd and short. And it'll be Delhomme plowing forward for the first down. The Browns now 14 for 14 this season on 3rd and 1. Take a look at the stats from the first quarter. And the Panthers took the opening kickoff, drove it all the way down the field, and the Browns, in the meantime, have not stopped moving it around.
Yeah, the passing yards pop out to me. And look at the penalties. Carolina has killed them.
5 penalties, including 2 roughing Delhomme. Jake swings it out to Hillis, but they misconnect.
And it looked like Godfrey had Hillis there out of the backfield, but elected to blitz. Number 30, Godfrey for the Panthers, and elected to blitz and left Hillis wide open. If he would have got it to him, he'd have walked into the end zone. You see the blitz coming from the left from Godfrey there, and if he just hits Hillis, I mean, he walks to the end zone. Godfrey has to be careful.
Well, Delhomme told us he was a little nervous this week. It's the first time in 2.5 months he has practiced with the first team. So perhaps a bit rusty. Now a little play action, plenty of time, and he's got Watson wide open inside the 10 and down near another first down. Sherrod Martin on the coverage.
Okay. Here you go, action here to one side, as you see, and then Benjamin Watson slips out again over here on the other side for an easy throw. And again, it's all set up, predicated off the run game. If they can continue to do this, and I've said it earlier, and I will continue to say it, will be an easy day for Jay Delhomme as well as these receivers in the passing game. Nice play design by offensive coordinator there,
Brian Daboll. Well, they're calling for a measurement, and Ben Watson really leading the charge when it comes to tight end production for the Browns. And they're going to say he's about 2 or 3 links shy. But you look at what he's done, Evan Moore, Robert Royal as well. It was really a sore spot for this offense last season.
Well, it's not anymore. I mean, they got 2 legitimate guys that can catch the football, and if they're doing a really good job in the run game as well. And you have to be able to do that.
And that man, Brian Daboll, has come under fire the last 2 years as offensive coordinator. And I think he has said, hey, be patient. When I've got the right guys in there, I can do things. And he's got a veteran in Jake Delhomme, and you're seeing a totally different Browns offense this afternoon. So 3rd and inches. Hillis in the backfield. And it's a quick hit to Evan Moore inside the 5, and he fumbles the ball. It is picked up by Jason Williams, so a turnover in the red zone as Moore was sniffing the goal line. And a huge stand for the Panthers defense. The quick hitter, and it's Moore that gets hit, dropped, and the Panthers recover. Jason Williams, the 2nd-year pro out of Western Illinois, making his first career start. He got the strip, he got the recovery from Evan Moore, and perhaps saved the game in the early going for the Panthers. So Clausen operating from his own 10, hands it off to Stewart, gets away from a few tacklers and works his way up to the 15, but let's take a look at the turnover, Torrey.
And we talked to John Fox, and he talked about turnovers, creating turnovers, and that's a good contact there. And look at his left arm, the strip right there to strip that ball out of his hands, and then the awareness to jump on the caused fumble. It's a great play by Jason Williams, a play that they needed. They wanted to slow down the big play, and they also wanted to create turnovers.
And a huge play, because if the Browns score a touchdown, keep in mind the Panthers have scored more than 20 in a game only once all season. 2nd and 5. Stewart again dragged down after a gain of 2. Now the Panthers, of course, they have been predicated on the run. You take a look at what they did in that opening drive where Mike Goodson was so phenomenal, but the last 2 they have been going the wrong way.
They have, and they just got to get back to what they did the first quarter. Run the football, and then let Clausen get something quick, some quick throws out of his hands. And again, they got to go back to Steve Smith.
Smith with only 1 catch so far. The Panthers are 2 of 4 in 3rd down conversions this afternoon. Out of the shotgun, Clausen looks incomplete. He was trying to hit Dante Rosario, but it was broken up nicely by Sheldon Brown. Actually, almost looked like Brown was the running the pattern.
This Rosario here at the bottom of the screen, and watch the job that Sheldon Brown is. He sees something quick. He's just reading the quarterback's eyes, and he jumps it. Should have picked that ball. Good play by Sheldon Brown.
Actually, a good job by Rosario just to knock it away from Brown. So Baker on to punt for the 3rd straight time to Cribbs, standing at his own 30. And a wobbly kick takes a Panthers bounce out at the 40-yard line, and that's where Jake Delhomme and the Browns will get it going again. Sheldon Brown can't believe it. I had that. That is the Browns' third-round pick out of Texas, quarterback Colt McCoy, inactive today because of a sprained ankle. Injured last week in the loss at Jacksonville. Played the entire second half with that sprained ankle. Nearly led the Browns to victory. Jake Delhomme has said that young man is indeed the future here at quarterback for the Browns. Hillis bouncing outside, and it is Captain Munnerlyn who spins him down after a 6-yard gain. Jake Delhomme once again making his first start since opening day and leading this Browns offense up and down the field. And Torrey, you know, he talked about the relationship he has built with Colt McCoy, and the two drive to work together every day, and he's said he's just basically been a sounding board, which is something a young quarterback really needs.
Absolutely, and Jake has just sat back and just allowed him to ask Jake questions, and if it's questions that he feels like needs to be addressed, he will, but at most point, he's just letting the young kid play.
Delhomme rolling out, throwing it, and almost picked off by Charles Godfrey. Delhomme was looking for Carlton Mitchell. Charles Johnson applying the pressure. And that's something that Jake Delhomme has done increasingly throughout his years, throw into traffic.
Look at Godfrey. Look at him come out of center field. He showed some speed there. This young man is playing some pretty good ball this afternoon.
He has a team-high 4 interceptions this year. Third-year man out of Iowa. Part of the youth movement on this entire Panthers team. 3rd and 4 for Delhomme. Plenty of time. Looks for Robisky and has him inside the 40 for the first down. And this is far and away the most productive game Brian Robisky has had in his year and a half in Cleveland.
And they need someone else other than Peyton Hillis to step up and make plays. And this guy here, I'm sure they have been looking forward to making some plays for the football team. And he's doing it today. Hopefully he can continue.
Well, Robisky and Massaquoi, each second-round picks last year for the Browns. Robisky's 3rd catch today. He had just 9 coming into this afternoon. Delhomme, quick hit to Massaquoi. And he gets another Browns first down, so the youngster's getting it done.
And we talked to Massaquoi as well, and he said that, you know, there's been opportunities where they've gotten open, they just hadn't been able to get the ball in their hand. And the Cleveland QBs, yeah, it's been a carousel with this football team, but today Jake Delhomme is coming out and showing some consistency. They look like they have a little bit of rhythm, a little bit of continuity there, and he's finding these young receivers, and they're getting it done.
Well, you see Delhomme, this is his 2nd start. McCoy 5 starts, Seneca Wallace 4. And obviously the Browns playing their most productive offensive game today under Delhomme. Hillis bouncing outside again. Gets inside the 10 and dragged down at the 6-yard line.
They have found where to run the football on this Panthers defense, and that is to the right side of their defense. Once again, 2 receivers they block down, and Joe Thomas and Vickers kicking out, and Peyton Hillis is shooting up through the hole there, and he almost scored once again. There's something that they've been seeing on tape and up in the booth, and another great job, another great call by Brian Dubois, the offensive coordinator.
And what did John Beeson tell us about Lawrence Vickers? He's one of the fastest fullbacks in the league and can really get out there better than some of the guys that are a little bit bigger.
Absolutely, we're seeing it here.
Hillis again, up the middle, runs right over Charles Godfrey for his 3rd touchdown of the half.
I don't know who wants to continue hitting this guy, Chris, today. He is a beast. And you know one thing that I like about him when we talk to him, he loves to play the game of football. It's not about the money. It's not about the fame. It's about running men over and scoring touchdowns and winning ball games. This guy is a beast.
Phil Dawson getting a workout here in the early going. Makes it 21-7. Peyton Hillis, the man who used to wrestle hogs as a kid, is going hog wild here in Cleveland. Well, Well, it is Charles Godfrey who has the cleats on his forehead after that play by Peyton Hillis.
Man, Peyton Hillis is delivering some punishment, and he said that he wants to deliver punishment before it's given to him. And right there, Charles Godfrey, introduce yourself to Peyton Hillis.
Well, you talk about balance in this sport until it's cliche, but it really has meant something for the Browns this afternoon. Jake Delhomme having an outstanding game through the air and opening it up for Peyton Hillis. 3 touchdowns on the ground. Geddes takes the kick at the 8. Weaves his way forward to about the 27-yard line. The Panthers have some work to do. They scored on their first possession. It's been quiet ever since. It's the Peyton Hillis Show here in Cleveland. Well, there's the biggest hog of them all. I mean that in the most polite and positive way. Peyton Hillis with 3 touchdowns here in the first half to give the Browns a 21-7 lead over the Panthers. Jimmy Clausen trying to get things going. Swings it out to Goodson out of the backfield. Past the 30, fumbles it out of bounds. Tackled by Sheldon Brown, but it has been the Peyton Hillis Show. 70 yards on the ground, including 3 touchdowns. He's shown the athleticism, Torrey, and he's shown the power as well.
Yes, he showed both. And what a job the offensive line is doing by creating great holes for Peyton Hillis. And his athleticism, his power is taking over from that point. This guy showed up to play 10 rushes, 70 yards, 7.0 per carry, and 3 touchdowns. Oh, my gosh.
11 TDs on the ground this season for Hillis, but it's the Panthers that are now trying to come back. Goodson. It's Matt Roth on the stop. Jason Trusnick there as well. And now it's the Panthers that have got to get it going. They have a little adversity. They've got a rookie quarterback at the helm who looked into your eyes and said, listen, I'm the man. And if basically this is a 6-week audition for Jimmy Clausen to say, I can be the guy.
Absolutely. He needs to step up and get something done. What I want to see now from them, because it's about that time, they need to take a shot down the football field to either number 12, David Geddes, Steve Smith, number 89. Someone has to get vertical for this football team in order for them to get back in the game. Create some more energy, some more juice.
3rd and 3, Clausen out of the shotgun. Tries to swing it out, but that's covered, and now he's patient and does get it out to Goodson, who makes a good play. He's in the open field and now up to midfield. A great job there by Jimmy Clausen, showing some patience.
Show some patience, improvised there, used his legs, got outside of the pocket, kept his eyes down the field, I think is what's key. Look at him, his eyes is always down the football field. A nice dump over to Goodson, and Goodson does the rest with his legs. Great job by Jimmy Clausen there.
He's not going to win any awards in the pretty pass department on that one, but it's certainly effective, and it gives the Panthers a much-needed first down. Their first one since the opening drive. Play action now. It's Fiametta out of the backfield. Moves the chains again. Tackled by Sheldon Brown. Well, NASCAR season may be over, but Fox is already revving up for another exciting year, and it all begins this February with the running of the Great American Race. Live from the Daytona International Speedway, it's the Daytona 500. February, only on Fox. You're a little bit of a NASCAR guy, aren't you, down there in Carolina?
Well, I'm from North Carolina, baby. I mean, what you expect? That's what we do in the South.
You got a favorite driver?
Jimmy Johnson right now, but I'm in love with the Petties. I love the Petties.
Front runner.
But I'm a big Petty fan.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Old school.
Well, this is Jonathan Stewart with some old school running, getting up close to a first down. And this is a guy who's battled injuries throughout his career. He and D'Angelo Williams, who's landed on the IR this year. You know, last year, they became the first running back tandem ever, each over 1,100 yards. I mean, he can be a productive player.
Absolutely. They need him on the field. They need him on the field. They need him healthy. And when he's healthy, I mean, obviously he's productive. It's good to have him back. You know, again, they got some 1-2 punch there with him and Goodson. They have to continue to feed this guy the football.
Second and very manageable for Clausen. It's Stewart again off the left side. Gets another Panthers first down and shoved out by Brown at the 25. And the running back situation for the Panthers, it'll be interesting to see what they do in the offseason. Williams, a Pro Bowler last year, injury-plagued 2010. He's a free agent. Jonathan Stewart still under contract. Now you've got the emergence of Mike Goodson. So we'll see what they do.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do. It's a problem that the Carolina Panthers definitely have to address. But you have 3 good backs as we see here with these 3 guys. Be interesting to see how many they keep and who they keep.
That might be the odd stat of the day. Carolina leading Cleveland in terms of time of possession. Clausen blitzed by Abram Elam and dropped.
He's coming. He'll be coming from somewhere here in the secondary. Here he is right here. Abram coming from the secondary. A quick blitz there. Get pressure on Clausen, get him out of the pocket, and got a sack there. And Abram, we talked to him earlier this week. He talked about disguising and get some pressure on Clausen, and there was an example right there.
Well, that's okay, because Jimmy Clausen couldn't find him either, so don't feel bad about that. Elam a huge week last week, an interception, also a fumble return for a touchdown. He forced 2 of the 6 turnovers by the Jags. Stewart chased outside and tackled by Joe Hayden. First time we called the rookie's name, but Eric Mangini loves his presence, his confidence, and how physical he is.
Yeah, I love the fact that Joe Hayden is a physical corner, and he also can cover. But we talked to Mangini, he talked about him still having to improve on some of his techniques at the cornerback position. But I think that will come as he progresses in the National Football League. But there's one thing about him, he competes, and he's physical on the edges.
The snarling Mangini watching his team force 3rd and 19. 3 receivers set. Brandon LaFell in the slot. That is him in motion. Browns blitzing. Clausen hits LaFell. He's going to be tackled well shy of the first down. Joe Hayden, Mike Adams combined on the stop.
Great defense.
But the Panthers do a decent job. They put a productive drive together. And now it'll be 41-year-old John Casey on to try and get the Panthers 3 more. Casey 15 for 17 on the season. This one from 43 yards out.
And they need these points. They need some points right now.
The kick is up, and it is good. So a nice drive by the Panthers to stop the run by the Browns offense. Well, Fox Sports is proud to support St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, where they're doing some wonderful work every day to help kids battle cancer. Please join us in the good fight and donate now at stjudes.org/Fox Sports. So a nice job by Jimmy Clausen. Just looking for little bright spots in what has been a rather dismal season for John Fox and the Panthers. So young at quarterback. In fact, they have 3 rookies dressed this afternoon.
Yeah, they're depleted there a little bit there at the quarterback position. Obviously, it's been a carousel there. And then at the running back position, they've also been depleted. But a good drive there. They would have liked to have gotten 7 points out of there to cut the difference down a little bit more. But they'll take 3, as they continue to move forward in this quarter.
And what do you see out of Jimmy Clausen so far?
I think, I think he looks good. He's 6 for 10 for 60 yards. I think he's doing a pretty good job with making decisions with the football. They're pressuring him in disguise and some things. I think it's kind of giving him some trouble. But for the most part, he's doing a pretty good job today.
Led the Panthers on opening drive for a touchdown, and here just got him a field goal. Lloyd kicks it off. Cribbs from 3 yards deep is going to bring it out. The 2-time Pro Bowler up near the 25 before he's brought down by Gary Barnidge and C.J. Wilson. Of course, when the Browns came back into existence in 1999, they built this brand new stadium, and this year they broke out the brand new Ring of Honor to honor the 16 Hall of Famers. You see some wonderful names. Bobby Mitchell up there. Saw Ozzie Newsome as well, the Hall of Fame tight end. And
there he goes.
Greatest running back in Browns history. And of course, the founder of the Browns as well, Paul Brown. One of the real nice touches that the Browns have done here at the new stadium. Well, Jake Delhomme having a Pro Bowl type day this afternoon. Swings it out. Hillis can't quite get a hold of it. I'm sure he's going to be as mad as anybody on that one.
Yeah, he was. He wish he would have got that down and just got it in his hands and just let him work and do something with it after he got it. Just a little, maybe a little bit over inches there, as you saw there on that pass. But hey, he'll live to play another down. But the Jim Brown, people don't realize how physically, his physical stature, how big he was as a man. Imagine him on that field.
Well, we caught a little glimpse, Peyton Hillis, in terms of running people over this afternoon, and it is Hillis gets the ball on second down. Gains about 4 before the Pro Bowler John Beeson wraps him up.
And they got to do that. They have to gang tackle this guy, something that they haven't done early on in this part of this game. And Beeson mentioned that as well. They have to get their hands on him, and they have to gang tackle him to bring him down. That was a good job there.
3rd and 6 as we are approaching the 2-minute mark in Cleveland. Delhomme out of the shotgun. Moore in motion. He hits Watson, but he's going to be wrapped up shy of the first down as Beeson makes the tackle.
These are stops that you need for the Carolina Panthers, and a great job by Beeson. And they talked about getting off the football field on 3rd downs. They've been on the football field a lot, this football team has, defensively, and that was a great stop. Now the offense has to do something to generate some points here.
First 3 and out for the Browns this afternoon, and the Panthers are going to get the ball back with a couple of timeouts here at the 2-minute warning. So the Panthers force a 3 and out by the Browns, awaiting the punt. They have 2 timeouts left. They're going to have a chance to do a little damage. Reggie Hodges just signed a 2-year contract extension on to punt for the first time this afternoon.
Former teammate of mine.
Captain Munnerlyn standing at his own 25. High wobbly kick. Splits the defenders. And there goes Munnerlyn. He is in Cleveland territory and dragged down at the 42-yard line.
Great return. That is what they need. They need a spark. Whether it's defense, special teams, offense, they need a spark for this ball club. And that was a great job by Captain Munnerlyn, number 41 on the return there. Now let's see what Jimmy Clausen does. No flags. Let's see what Jimmy Clausen does. 1:46 left, 2 timeouts. He has plenty of time to get this team in position to score. It'd be a great score for them going into the half.
A 33-yard return for Munnerlyn has put Clausen and the Panthers in outstanding territory. And it'll be Goodson to run the ball. Flag down on the field. Goodson stopped after about a 3-yard gain.
Illegal formation. Offense. Number 12 covered up eligible receiver number 88 on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That is on the rookie David Geddes. 6th flag against Carolina this afternoon. Well, coming up on the Visa halftime report, Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. They're going to have all the scores and early game highlights from around the NFL, including Green Bay at Atlanta, perhaps an NFC Championship game preview. Also, they'll have news on Leslie Frazier's debut for the Minnesota Vikings, taking over the helm for the fired Brad Childress this week. So now 1st and 15. Clausen out of the gun. Plenty of time. Hits Smith. He is wrapped up, and he gets away from Mike Adams. And now dragged down by Chris Gokong, but not before he gets a first down.
And you see what happens when they get him the football. And he clearly came out of the huddle there looking for number 89, Steve Smith. As you see him there in the slot, beat number 20, Mike Adams. And Clausen just hangs with him. A nice little route, dumps it. And right here is just straight strength and power right there by Steve Smith. Great job. Keep getting him the football. He makes plays.
Clausen, incomplete, as Goodson had it in his hands. And Tori, you talked about at the top of the broadcast, get the ball to 89. How have they been doing?
It's a must. Three thrown his way, only 2 catches. It doesn't look like here that they're doing a good job of getting him the football. I would like to see 8 thrown to. or 10 thrown to, 7 or 8 catches. They have to continue to try to generate some offense for their guy, Steve Smith.
Of course, a receiver would want to see the ball
Absolutely.
10 times and a
we
half.
make plays. That's what we do, baby.
Just over a minute to go. Panthers still with 2 timeouts left. And running the ball. Goodson gets nothing. Wrapped up nicely by Chris Gokong. So the Panthers use their second timeout, and Steve Smith reunited today with Jake Delhomme, at least on the same field.
Look at that there. Look at, let me do it again. Look at the difference. You talking about with Jake Delhomme over maybe, what, 6 or 7 catches, and now without Delhomme, 3 catches
per game you're talking about.
game? I mean, come on. This guy is still a productive player. Delhomme Smith, what a great connection those guys have.
Well, for 7 seasons in Carolina, they teamed together, taking the squad to the playoffs 3 times. Of course, making it to Super Bowl 38, where they connected for a touchdown as well. Last-second loss to the Patriots. It has obviously been a frustrating year for Steve Smith, as he's had to deal with a lot of youth at the quarterback position. Flags are down here on 3rd and 10.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 53. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Matt Roth claimed he was drawn offsides, but Jeff Triplett and his crew says not so much. So the Panthers pick up 5 there. 3rd and manageable again.
One timeout for Carolina. 3rd and 5.
The Browns blitz, and Clausen incomplete. He was pressured there by Brian Schafering and Chris Gokong.
Great pressure there by the Browns on the left side of the field. I would have liked to have, they ran a quick out there to Steve Smith. I would have liked to have seen a slant to get the ball in his hands right now and let him use his run after catch ability.
John Casey, who hit moments ago from 43, this one from 42 to get the Panthers within 8. And the 20-year vet does so. So the 33-yard punt return by Captain Munnerlyn puts the Panthers in great field position, and Casey puts them on the board. Once again, coming up in just a few minutes, a Visa halftime report with all the guys in studio, all the early highlights, plus they'll get you going for the late games this afternoon. The Eagles in Chicago to take on the Bears. The Buccaneers playing the Baltimore Ravens. A pair of great games later this afternoon as we continue with America's game here on our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader.
Absolutely. There's a lot of great games across the National Football League. But this game right here with the Cleveland Browns and the Carolina Panthers has went really well. And Carolina still has an opportunity to win this ball game. They would have liked to went down on those last 2 possessions there and got some scores to give them some more confidence going into halftime. But you got to credit Cleveland. They came out and looked like they have executed and mastered their game plan thus far in this game.
So now the Browns, 47 seconds to go. They have all 3 timeouts left. They've got a Pro Bowl kick returner in Josh Cribbs. So perhaps if he can break a decent one, maybe.
Possibility.
Maybe the Browns will start moving the ball down the field. Reese Lloyd kicks it away to Cribbs at the goal line. Cribbs across the 25 and darts his way up to the 30-yard line. Now, I know you're an offensive guy. If you're Jake Delhomme, obviously you're begging these guys to say, hey, give me a shot to get the ball down the field.
Absolutely. And with the run, how they're efficient in the run game, I'm sure there are some opportunities on the perimeter for a deep shot down the football field. Now, right now, I don't know if this is the correct time to do that. Right now, they probably just want to run the football and get off the field and go into half with the lead. But coming out of half, you should see some more shots by Jake Delhomme down the football field, especially the way Brian Robisky and Mohamed Massaquoi is playing right now.
Well, Delhomme is in the shotgun with 40 seconds to go. Delhomme trying to set up the screen, and he loses the football The Browns, however, fall on it. It is the right tackle, John St. Clair, and that could have been disaster for Cleveland.
Why do you want to take the chance on a screen? Hand the ball off and let's just run it down and let's get off the football field. You don't want to take chances like that because things like that happen. Fumbles, interceptions. You do not want to take a chance right now. You're trying to win the game.
Great play there by Charles Johnson, the leading sack man for the Panthers.
Yeah, let's let it run out. Let's go. Let's go to the locker room, boys. Let's regroup.
Well, the Browns behind the arm of Jake Delhomme and the legs of Peyton Hillis have gotten it done in the first half. They lead it 21-13 against the Carolina Panthers. Coming up after a break, it is the Visa halftime report, so don't go anywhere. Here in Cleveland, pretty good one in the first half. 21-13, Browns lead the Panthers as Reese Lloyd is about to kick it to the Pro Bowler Josh Cribbs. Cribbs on the run, takes it at the 11. And cannot get outside, gets up to about the 28-yard line. And welcome back inside the broadcast booth alongside the 7-time Pro Bowler, Torrey Holt. I am Chris Rose. And Torrey, we heard the guys talking in studio at halftime about what a beast Peyton Hillis is. I wouldn't want to be hitting that guy come second half.
I know it. I mean, the guy is running the football, and he's running it with some passion. He's running very angry. And his father named him after Walter Payton, who's another great runner, Hall of Fame runner. And this guy is showing why his father named him after another great runner in Walter Payton.
3 rushing touchdowns for number 40 in the first half, but really the running game was opened up by the presence of Jake Delhomme, who came out firing at will. And looking downfield and has that one tipped and picked off by John Beeson. The Panthers force another turnover. Beeson is dragged down at the 30.
This is what the Carolina Panthers needed for this football team, was turnovers. Turnovers. And John Beeson, the quarterback of this defense, a great read. Look at him right here in the middle. And he'll just read Jake Delhomme's eyes all the way through. Look at him. He came down and he just read into the pick. Great job by Beeson getting in the passing lanes up the slant. John Beeson.
Well, Beeson has been a tackling machine throughout his career, once again leading the Panthers in tackles. But this year, didn't have a sack, didn't have an interception. He said, I got to start making plays, and he did there. Here, Mike Goodson inside the 30.
But to John Beeson's credit, I mean, he moved to the outside, back from the outside back to the inside. So this guy has been shuffling there at the linebacker position, and he's so unselfish. You never heard him complain. All he did was show up on Sundays and play the game of football, and he came up with a big play there for his football team.
Yeah, first half of the year he spent working at the outside linebacker position until Dan Connor was injured, moved back inside. Now comes up with the big pick. 2nd and 8. Delayed handoff to Stewart. Wrapped up after maybe a 2-yard gain by Matt Roth. Brian Schafering there as well. But now the Panthers, they've got to start getting touchdowns. They've been settling for John Casey field goal attempts.
Absolutely, and here's a prime time for a shot. We've been calling for a shot all game. Take a shot to someone down the field. Again, Geddes, number 12, 89, Steve Smith. Take a shot, or even number 11, LaFell. Take a shot to one of these receivers.
See what the offensive coordinator, Jeff Davidson, draws up here on 3rd and 6. That's LaFell in motion. Browns rushing 4. Clausen plenty of time. Now flushed out of the pocket. Looking and throwing it. And LaFell makes the catch. However, now the refs say no. In fact, it looks like LaFell was out of bounds, then came back inbounds, which would make it illegal touching. Let's see what the refs say.
You watch the feet there. Never went out. That's a catch. Or did he drag?
Illegal touching on a forward pass. Number 11 of the offense. Went out of bounds, reestablished inbounds in the first to touch the pass beyond the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So we didn't see it on that replay, but perhaps it looks like LaFell might have stepped out before that.
Yeah, because that clearly that replay that showed it. There was no instance of him running out of bounds. Great balance.
Do you know when you're a receiver, if you're running out of bounds, can you almost feel it?
Yeah, you can feel it, and you always have to keep your eyes up. You got to know where you are on the football field.
So that negates a first down. Play clock under 5, and John Fox has called the challenge flag. He's thrown it out onto the field. Well, Brandon LaFell stating his case to his teammates, and now John Fox wants to have the play reviewed.
Carolina is challenging the ruling on the previous play that the receiver had stepped out of bounds and came back in and caught the pass.
So Jeff Triplett will look under the hood. A critical call coming up. All right, back in Cleveland, the Carolina Panthers are challenging the ruling on the field. So let's head out to Los Angeles and the Fox Command Center with our own Mike Pereira, head of the NFL officiating for 9 years. Mike, what are the referees looking at right now?
Hey, they're actually looking at 3 things here, Chris and Tori. I mean, they're going to look to see, did the receiver step out of bounds? And here's the shot, really, that shows that he does not. And I know this is what the official ruled because he threw his hat right after this. Then they got to go to step 2. Did he get both feet down, which you'll see right here. The right foot is going to touch. Now you got to see, did he hold on to the ball after he hit the ground? That's the 3rd thing. And when they look at all 3 of these, they're going to say it is a catch, and they should reverse this to a catch.
So once again, the important thing, Mike Pereira, to keep in mind is even though John Fox is challenging the initial ruling was that it was illegal touching, they are looking at the whole play in general, correct?
Correct. Everything that's reviewable in the context of the rule. Touching is reviewable. Completing the catch with both feet down, that's reviewable. And then holding the ball onto the ball when you actually hit the ground, that's reviewable too. So this will take them a bit now of time because they're going to have to reverse this. They're going to have to go back and establish now where the catch is and set the ball up properly. So after they resolve those 3 things, they hopefully will get the whole thing straightened out and put the ball where it belongs.
I suppose the question I've got is the 3rd part of that equation, Mike, is the possession. Did LaFell definitely have possession at the end?
I think he did. I think that he maintained control of the ball. Ball's always going to move a little bit, and you will actually see the ball move a little bit when it hits the ground, but moving is not loss of possession.
All right, Mike Pereira from the Fox Command Center out in Los Angeles. We appreciate it. We'll see what Jeff Triplett is about to rule as he is back out from under the hood.
After review, the receiver does not step out of bounds. However, he makes the catch but loses control of the ball at the sideline, so it's an incomplete pass. Carolina wins the challenge because we changed the aspect of the ruling on the field. It will be 4th down at the 28-yard line, Carolina hash. Carolina is not charged a timeout.
So it was part C of the equation.
Feet good.
Feet are good, but they
good.
said didn't complete the process, didn't maintain the possession all the way through.
Right there. I think they got that one wrong, Chris. That looked like a controlled catch by LaFell and such awareness and balance.
And it cost the Panthers not only a first down, but a timeout as well. So the Panthers now 1 for 12 this year on coaches' challenges. So John Casey now on to try his 3rd field goal attempt, this one from 46. And it cost them points as well. The Panthers force the turnover but cannot turn it into points. It remains 21-13 Cleveland. Back in Cleveland where the Browns lead at 21-13, I just want to clarify something real quick. The Panthers did not lose a timeout on the challenge, okay? Just because they challenged the initial ruling, which was illegal touching, and that was not illegal touching. So the Panthers, they lost the first down, but not the timeout. Hillis trying to back his way forward for one. And let's take a look at the missed field goal by the 20-year vet, John Casey.
Everything looked good, snapped, everything looked well. Just missed it far right.
Well, you can see the wind, which is usually a problem here in Cleveland Browns Stadium. Not much of an issue this afternoon.
And those are points that they need. You know, they great job out of defense, and again, they try a field goal and they get nothing out of it.
Delhomme picked off on his first pass attempt of the second half. Here looking downfield, it has it picked off by Munnerlyn, and he is into the end zone for a touchdown.
Yep, I got you. As you see here, Munnerlyn just a great coverage here. He's isolated one-on-one here with, and he does a good job initially at the line of scrimmage with a quick jam there, comes off, and then he just drives the ball right here and just comes underneath Massaquoi for the pick. Munnerlyn is having a really good game. Good job. This defense once again.
The PIT by Casey is good as the Panthers elected not to go for two, and just like that, the Panthers get on the board, and they are down one here early in the third. Well, the Browns turned it over 3 times, including consecutive passes by Jake Delhomme. The last one returned for a touchdown by Captain Munnerlyn. And now the Panthers within 1 and kicking off to Clifton Smith, not Joshua Cribbs. Smith from the goal line across the 20. And he fumbles the ball. It is on the ground. And let's see who's got it.
Another ball out. Another ball out. The Carolina Panthers have come out of the half here, and they have created turnovers, special teams and defensively, to get this football team back into the game. And that's what's been happening all year.
Sherrod Martin jarred it loose, but the Browns do recover to a chorus of boos here in Cleveland.
Right there. Martin, good hit. Hammered directly on the football. Great job. And great hustle to try to get back on it.
Clifton Smith returning for the injured Joshua Cribbs. Cribbs last week inactive after dislocating 4 toes on his right foot. He was still bothered by the foot all week. In fact, he didn't practice. Eric Mangini was optimistic he would play, and he has today, although not on offense, only on special teams, and he wasn't even out there the last play. So now on 1st and 10, will they go strictly to the running game? They do on this play. Hillis up the middle, upended, but not before getting close to another first down. Well, it has been all about the turnover. First play of the second half, Delhomme picked off by John Beeson. Panthers ended up missing a field goal, but then Delhomme's next pass attempt resulted in a touchdown by Munnerlyn. Hillis spins away, and he's going to get close to another first down. Let's send it out to Los Angeles right now for Game Break with Kurt Menefee.
The Falcons have to go for it 4 times from the 1-yard line, but the 4th time is the charm. Michael Turner, touchdown, pending the extra point. It is now 16-10. Falcons trying to go up by 7. Chris, Torrey?
Who wants to claim that they're the best team in the NFC? So much parity right now in the NFC, man. It's going down. In the
How about
NFC.
the NFL?
Right, it is. It's great.
Well, that is Mike Bell. Squirts forward for about 5 as the Browns move the chains. And the Browns doing it on the ground this drive, in part because of the Delhomme interception, something that Carolina fans were used to, certainly in the playoffs against the Arizona Cardinals. You saw the fumble, and then he was picked off 5 times in the 33-13 loss against the Cardinals. And he said The next year, he was trying so hard to erase that memory. He came back. He had a lousy 09, 18 interceptions a year ago before being cut loose by the Panthers. This time, end around to Stuckey. Godfrey sniffs it out.
That play didn't go as clean as they would like to. It was some type of miscommunication there. Jake bumps into a guard or a tackle, then he hands it off. That's a close play.
Well, you know, I talked earlier about Delhomme saying this is the first time in 2.5 months he's practiced with the first unit. How long does it take you to get your rhythm back when you've been kind of on the shelf that long?
It can take, for some, it can take a while. You know, obviously Jake looks like he's done a fairly decent job of getting in some rhythm, but shows some rust as well.
2nd and 14, Delhomme out of the shotgun. Hits a crossing Moore, who gets into Panthers territory before he is stoned right there by Charles Godfrey. It'll set up 3rd and about 3. The Browns in semi-hurry-up mode at this point.
And we saw this a little bit in practice this week, a little bit of a hurry-up. And it looks like they're going to take more of the conservative approach, some crosses, some short intermediate things in the passing game because of the turnovers in the second half of Jake Delhomme.
Hillis in the backfield on 3rd and 3. Delhomme looking, finding Massaquoi for the first down, his 3rd catch of the afternoon. Massaquoi once again grew up in Charlotte, said his favorite Panthers player, Muhsin Muhammad.
And Muhsin Muhammad was a heck of a receiver for the Carolina Panthers, obviously. So he's looked up to the right guy. Muhsin was very physical in the run game. He can also catch and do things in the passing game as well. So great guy to look to.
Massaquoi just turned 24 years old this week. He's been playing a little more productive the last few weeks. Delhomme, play fake, looking downfield and throwing it away. Intended for Lawrence Vicker, but
good coverage. Good coverage. And Carolina needs to generate another stop here. Jake and the Browns have done a good job thus far driving the ball, but they need to get a stop, Carolina does, and keep the Cleveland Browns off the scoreboard.
Well, the Browns scored 3 straight touchdowns in the first half. Then the Panthers forced a turnover. And then 2 more here in the early part of the second half. 2nd and 10. Hillis trying to get outside. Gains about 8 on the play, but flags on the play.
Holding offense, number 11. 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That's the receiver, Massaquoi.
Yeah. Oh, and their receivers have been doing a good job on the perimeter blocking right there. Just a little bit more, some extra effort there blocking the defender, and he just got called for holding. But they've been doing an excellent job, the receivers have, in the running game for the Cleveland Browns.
Massaquoi called for holding against Captain Munnerlyn, the man who scored the Panthers' last touchdown on the interception. So now 2nd and long for Delhomme out of the shotgun. Pressured, hits Hillis out of the backfield, and Beeson hog-ties him, gets him down. Hillis close to the original line of scrimmage, so that'll set up 3rd and long.
Yeah, I got to anticipate some pressure here from the Carolina Panthers and put these corners on the island one-on-one against these young receivers, and let's see what happens. They got to get to Jake Delhomme. They're speeding up the offense with this no huddle. I got to put some pressure on these guys and put my guys on the island at some point during the course of this game.
Evan Moore, kind of the 3rd receiver in this set. Slotted to the right. Delhomme pressured and just has to throw it away as Tyler Brayton is applying the heat.
And good job by their front 4. You can get pressure up front with just your front 4. That allows the guys on the back end to cover. And that was a pressure sack, but it was also a coverage sack because the guys up front was able to get to him, and the other guys in the secondary could just cover.
It was really Charles Johnson who forced Delhomme out of the pocket and into Brayton's way. So Reggie Hodges on to boot it away to Captain Munnerland. High kick. Fair catch called for at the 10-yard line. 34 yards on the punt. The Panthers have the ball, and they're looking for the lead. Well, the Carolina defense has come up money here in the third quarter, forcing a couple of turnovers and a punt. And now the Panthers down just one with the ball at their own 10. Play action by Clausen. Plenty of time. Dumps it off to Goodson and wrapped up by Kenyon Coleman for a loss of about 4.
Yeah, he was looking for Steve Smith there, but they did a good job of getting in the passing lane. You see Steve right here comes off, runs a short curl right here. He's come back, but look at Rolfe. Rolfe gets in the passing lanes to allow Clausen to pull the ball down.
And a nice play by Kenyon Coleman. 9th-year man out of UCLA. One of those former Jets that Eric Mangini imported. Hand off to Stewart off the left side. Gets through a hole. Nice tackle there by T.J. Ward to stop him about 5 yards shy of the first down.
Good job. They're doing a good job again of mixing it up. Stewart, Goodson. And I know I sound like a broken record, ladies and gentlemen, but I know they're looking for Steve Smith in the short intermediate game. They got to go down the football field. Take a shot at some point, please.
4 receivers in the pattern on 3rd and 5. Browns rush 4. Clausen, plenty of room. He swings it out to Goodson, who's going to get the first down and then some. Shoved out of bounds at the 30 by Abram Elam. But a nice job by the rookie to keep his head moving forward.
Absolutely. That's another great job by Clausen. Heads down the football field, alert, knowing what's going on, knowing where his players are around him. He actually could have ran for that himself, but he elected to pass to Goodson and let Goodson take some of the pounding on that one. Just closely in front of the line of scrimmage. Great job by Clausen. Way to use your legs.
So the Panthers move the chains. Now at their own 31. Goodson up the gut. Spins forward for about 4. Abram Elam stops him. Goodson, a guy, once again, that got his opportunity after injuries to D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart, Terrell Sutton as well. Today with 50 yards on the ground, including their lone touchdown from the offensive side of the ball.
And he's taking advantage of that opportunity. Yes, he is. He's running tough.
Two tight end formation for the Panthers. 2nd and 6. Play action by Clausen. He is pressured and dropped. It was Matt Roth in the backfield. And right now, why don't we send it out to Kurt Menefee with an update from Los Angeles.
The Giants were down to the Jaguars 17-6 at halftime, but they battled back. Eli Manning to Mario Manningham, 26-yard score. They had a 2-point conversion. And just like that, the game tied at 17 in the fourth quarter. Chris and Torrey.
All right, thank you, Kurt. The Giants win and an Eagles loss. Things will be knotted up atop the NFC East. Of course, you can see the Eagles later today. America's game on Fox in Chicago after this one is over. 3rd and long for Clausen out of the shotgun. Roth pressures. Rosario catches it and gets close to the first down, but he's about 1.5 yards shy as Titus Brown wrapped him up.
They're doing a good job of getting pressure on Clausen.
Yeah, they've been hitting him, whether it was Mike Adams, or you saw Big Baby getting in there as well. Abram Elam with the sack. And now the Browns have forced the punt by the Panthers. Jason Baker kicking it away, and Josh Cribbs is back to field this one. And he is tackled immediately. A great play there by Greg Hardy, a defensive lineman. Well, the Panthers, they have gotten within one here in Cleveland, but they had to punt it away on their last drive. Jimmy Clausen going over the playbook. Perhaps he was a little injured. We'll show you what happened with him on the previous drive. So now the Browns, who moved the ball at will on their first 3 opportunities this afternoon, have really struggled as of late. Delhomme picked off twice here in the third quarter. And it is Hillis off the left side. Wrapped up after a gain of about 5 or 6. And let's show him what happened to Jimmy Clausen, Torrey.
Right here, he looks like he jammed his finger there on the sack. Got pressured and he got up and looked like he hurt something, but they put pressure on him. And there you see right there, he's looking at that finger and he's trying to figure out what's going on. He pops it in. I've had a few of those myself in my career, and I popped them in just like he did and continue to play. Such toughness there by Jimmy Clausen.
Now that is on his throwing hand, but he doesn't seem to be bothered at this point. Peyton Hillis now with his 4th 100-yard game and continues to mush on the ground, and there's the jump once again for the first down. We talked about it in the first half. He watched his older brother Kyle do it in high school, so he figured, why not me?
Should he be running track? I think he should be running track in the offseason as well. I mean, look at this hurdle. Great. We need to find out what this guy's vertical was when he, look at that coming out of college. I mean, in the offseason, can we sign him up for track somewhere?
So earlier we showed you Hillis bowl over Charles Godfrey. Now he's jumping over Sherrod Martin. These Panthers safeties don't know how to tackle him. Hillis cuts forward to the 37. And really a rare glimpse of something special for the Browns here in the second half offensively, because this Panthers D has been lighting it up.
I mean, the last 4 drives, I mean, these guys have just been incredible.
Well, forcing the 2 turnovers here. Interceptions by Beeson and Munnerlyn. He's gotten them right back in the game. Delhomme to throw. Pressured, he swings it out to Hillis. He has nowhere to go as James Anderson wraps him up. Anderson, one of the Panthers that's really having an outstanding season in his 5th year out of Virginia Tech.
He really is. He's playing really well. Great tackle there on Peyton Hillis. Didn't allow him to get up the field any longer. And that's how you got to tackle. You got to wrap him up, and then you got to game tackle this guy. And that was a good job by James Anderson, holding him up, and then his teammates coming to finish him off.
Second to Beeson in tackles for the Panthers. Now the Browns with a bunch formation to the left on 3rd and 6. Massaquoi now in motion. Delhomme slings it to Robisky, but he is brought down quickly by Richard Marshall, and yet again the Panthers defense holds.
They're just showing up. I mean, credit John Fox and that defensive coaching staff. They just keep showing up defensively. This is clearly the strong point of this Carolina Panthers football team is their defense, and they're fighting for their team.
Well, John Beeson told us yesterday, we will not quit on our coach, unlike some in this league. Reggie Hodges gets it away, but it looks like he was rough. There is a flag in the backfield. He was popped by the rookie Eric Norwood, so let's see. Either way, it's going to be a first down for the Browns, whether it's just running into the kicker or roughing.
Running into the kicker, number 92 of the defense. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
So yet another mistake by a rookie on the Panthers.
Yep. Right there, ran right into him.
And he knew it right away. Well, that one could have been roughing, huh?
Yeah, it could have. It looked like it. I mean, he got away with that call, but the penalties have been kind of killing the Panthers today. And then there's another one.
7 penalties this afternoon. That one gives the Browns the automatic first down after the Panthers defense held him to 3 and out. Mike Bell now in the backfield behind Delhomme. This could be the final play of the third quarter. It is Bell off the right side. Gets into Panthers territory and has a nice gain of nearly 8. And that's going to do it for the first 3 quarters of play here in Cleveland. The Panthers an inch closer and trail it just by 1. Cleveland for what has been an entertaining first 3 quarters, and the Browns, well, right where they've been all season long. You can see coming into this week, had played the toughest schedule in the NFL, but look at the bottom number. 4 losses when leading in the 4th quarter. That is the most in the NFL, and a number that Eric Mangini does not want to see increase this afternoon. Peyton Hillis back in the game on 2nd and short. And it is Hillis up the gut and keeps shoving forward. That'll move the chains.
For a physical first down by Peyton Hillis. And they have to continue to give him the football if they want to hold on to this lead. Because as we've seen in the second half, they've tried to give Jake Delhomme plenty of opportunities to move the football and to move this football team down the field. But he's come up with turnovers. So they got to go back to their ace. It's Peyton Hillis.
His 4th 100-yard rushing effort of the season. Delhomme looking, firing, hitting Robisky. And gains about 7 on the play. Brian Robisky having the best game of his 2-year career. That's his 5th catch. Remember, he had only 9 all season coming in.
Yeah, and that play has been there for him all day. It's just a simple, quick 5-yard hitch. The corner is off. They're coming back 1, 2, 3, 4. Ball is out. Robisky is wide open. It's a good drive. It's a good play there for the Browns.
Robisky, a guy that caught 127 passes his 4 years at Ohio State. Hillis off the left side gets another crushing block by Vickers. And it looks like he might be just a tad bit shy of the first down, but another great block by number 47, Lawrence Vickers.
And they're going back to the right side of the defensive line for the Carolina Panthers. And Vickers, again, physical, fast guy, getting up and leading Peyton Hillis through the hole.
So now upon further review, that was a first down. Mike Bell in the backfield to give Peyton Hillis a breather. Delhomme looks like he's changing the play, and boy, he just got bum rushed right there.
And he changed the play of the line of scrimmage, but a great job by 95 Charles Johnson there with the penetration. He's their defensive end. This is a guy Mangini talked about too as well, and we talked to him about they have to pay close attention to Charles Johnson, and he got off the ball right there for a sack on Jake Delhomme.
Leads the Panthers in sacks 5.5, and yeah, he was okay on that one.
Yes, he was.
Loss of 5. 2nd and 15 now. Browns have really struggled since the first 15 minutes on offense. Delhomme looking, trying to hit Evan Moore, covered closely by John Beeson, and no flags.
Great coverage by John Beeson. Once again, he didn't fall for the okie doke. He stayed right there. Here he is, John Beeson, 1-on-1 with the tight end, 89. And he stayed with him, and it was a great play. I don't know why Delhomme forced that throw in there when Brian Robisky was clearly wide open on the outside with a curl route.
So now 3rd and 15. Three receivers in the pattern for Delhomme. Panthers rush just 3. Delhomme dumps it off to Hillis in the middle of the field. He gets close to the first down, but he's going to be about a yard shy. So now what? Do you go and try and tack on the 3, or do you go for it?
You know what? With Peyton Hillis running the ball the way he's been running the ball all day, and the way that offensive line has been firing off the football, I will go for it. And that's clearly what the crowd is saying. Go for it.
Well, at this point, it looks like Peyton Hillis is actually heading to the sidelines.
Oh.
Perhaps a little rung up, and now he's heading back inside.
You know he wasn't going to miss this one, man.
Well, the play clock inside of 5 seconds, so the Browns are going to have to burn a timeout here. Their first one of the half. And while the Browns decide what to do on 4th and 1, we'll take a breather. Cleveland leads it by 1. 4th and 1 for Eric Mangini and the Browns. He's elected to go for it. What do you do, Torrey Holt?
I go for it. I give it to Peyton Hillis, and I tell him to head downhill for the first down.
Browns 2 for 3 in 4th down tries this year. Third tight end Robert Royal into the game as well. And it is Hillis off the left side, and it's going to be close. And if they mark it where they're saying he did not get it.
He did not. If the Panthers get a stop on. Look at the surge by these guys. The Panthers are clearly on the other side of the line of scrimmage. They're on a 4th and 1. I mean, great job. I mean,
it doesn't look like.
And he looks short.
He is well short. A great job by the Panthers D. You saw Sherrod Martin in there. Nick Hayden to finish it up. So this Panthers team just 1-9 coming in this afternoon, playing some inspired football, and now with a chance to take the lead in Cleveland. Panthers defensive coordinator Ron Meeks making all the right calls this afternoon. His team just stopped Cleveland on 4th and 1 at the 25. They have been stout here in the second half, so now Jimmy Clausen with a chance to take his team down the field for the lead. However, looks like it's going to be a false start on the right side of that line.
False start, 65 the offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That is the right tackle Gary Williams.
And the adjustments that the Panthers have made coming out at halftime defensively has just been outstanding. And you got to credit Ron Meeks. You know, he's got these guys continuing to play. The effort is still there. And the biggest thing is the takeaways. I mean, they've created some turnovers here in the second half.
One of which was returned for a touchdown by Captain Munnerlyn to get them within 1. Here on 1st and 15, it's Stewart for about 7. Stewart having a very solid game. This is a guy who ran for more than 1,100 yards a season ago, but really has been sputtering along even before suffering the concussion a few weeks ago against the Saints. He's averaged right around 3 yards per carry, and that's not Jonathan Stewart football.
And you can, I mean, I credit him and I applaud him for his effort of getting back out here on the football field, but he's still, the burst is not quite there that we've seen from Jonathan Stewart in the past.
Clausen pressured, and he is dropped by a blitzing Abram Elam. And very quickly, let's send it out to Kurt Menefee for a game break in Los Angeles.
The Packers down by a touchdown. Just over a minute to go in Atlanta. 4th and goal from the 10-yard line. Aaron Rodgers finds Jordy Nelson to tie it up. 10-yard score. It's 17 apiece. 56 ticks left in regulation. Chris and Torrey.
Kurt, thank you. Of course, the Packers trying to hand Matt Ryan just his second ever home loss as a starter. That one coming down to the final few ticks. It could be same thing here in Cleveland. 3rd and long. Clausen just gets the play off in time. He's pressured, dumps it off to Rosario, and he gets it for the first down. So a great play by the backup tight end to move the chains.
Great play right there. Misdirection to the left here, as you see. He fakes the screen over to his left, and then he comes right back to Rosario, tight end 88 on the right-hand side. And great blocking by the offensive lineman down the football field. And a great run by Rosario to get the first down.
Yeah, good block by 65, Gary Williams, who was called for the infraction at the start of this drive. To clear the path for the tight end. Now Stewart off the right side, bounces up the middle. Gains about 7.5. Such a big job here by Jimmy Clausen. We talked about this is his job, open audition, final 6 weeks of the season. Now he has his team in position to win a football game.
Yeah, and he's 11 for 18 for 113 yards. And he's been banged around quite a bit today. Coming off a concussion 2 weeks ago, and he's showing toughness to get up off the ground, you know, and get back in the huddle and lead this team.
Stewart has a big hole inside the Cleveland 40, inside the 30, wrapped up and driven out of bounds by Elam, but not before he gets close to the 25-yard line. We'll call it a gain of 31.
A really good job right there by Stewart in the offensive line, and he hits the hole there. But a Jonathan Stewart on the pass would have taken that the distance for a score. Right there when I mentioned to you guys earlier about missing some bursts, right there you can see where he doesn't quite have the burst, but he still has the ability to get through the hole and create big runs.
Longest run of the season for Stewart. Goodson now back into the game as the Panthers are in field goal territory. Gains about 1. Take a look at the Panthers leaders on offense. And Jonathan Stewart really looking at the big one there. Talking about 8 yards per carry this afternoon.
8 yards per carry. I mean, that's a good job. I mean, him and Goodson have just flip-flopped this week. Hey, but there's still balance there. There's still yardage gain there in the running game. It's just by 2 guys. Good job. You know, it's really good to see Stewart back out on the football field running the ball today.
Now, if you're the Panthers, you don't just want to settle for the field goal. Still plenty of time left. Goodson wrapped up by Coleman, and he's got nowhere to go. So that'll leave it at 3rd and long. And if you're Jeff Davidson, the offensive coordinator, what are you doing with a rookie quarterback here? You give him a chance?
I think I'll give him a chance. I probably would maybe dial up a screen or something really quick, a slant, something very efficient. Because if we don't get the first down, still we'll be able to get some points in the kicking game.
From here, it would be about a 41, 42-yarder for Casey. Clausen pretty efficient today on 3rd down. It is 3rd and 9. Browns rush 4. Clausen flushed out of the pocket, and did he get it back to the line of scrimmage? He was out of the pocket. There was a receiver in the territory. It was Mike Goodson.
And they had a screen set up there to Mike Goodson. The Cleveland Browns played that very well, and Clausen was very heady there and got rid of the ball.
So now that brings on the veteran John Casey. 2 for 3 this afternoon. Both of his makes coming at this end of the field. This to give the Panthers the lead. From 43 yards out. It is up, and it is good. And the Carolina Panthers have come all the way back to take a 2-point lead in Cleveland. Back in a stunned Cleveland stadium, the Panthers have scored 16 unanswered points, and the Browns' 2-time Pro Bowl kick returner Joshua Cribbs, perhaps still bothered by that injured right foot, on the sidelines for the kickoff return. Clifton Smith, who fumbled his lone return, although the Browns did recover, is back at his own goal line. Low liner taken on one hop by Smith across the 20, the 25, and down at the 28, maybe the 30. And so Jake Delhomme now has to lead the comeback against his old team. The question is, do the Browns believe in Jake Delhomme, former Panther going against his old team? Browns trailing for the first time since the first quarter. Delhomme pressured, scrambles forward, flips it ahead to Hillis, and he's going to get a first down. So a great job by both Delhomme and Hillis to keep the play alive.
Jake Delhomme improvising. He's improvising right there. Everything had broke down the football field, and Peyton Hillis with the awareness to stay open, and get open, and create an open target for Delhomme, and Delhomme found it with the little flip. Brett Farbish.
Well, number 98, Nick Hayden, hobbled to the sidelines. So Ed Johnson, number 99, is his replacement. Jake looking for his 20th career fourth quarter comeback and his first as a Brown. It is Hillis who stumbles and loses 2. Approaching the 6-minute mark. And for Jake Delhomme, he's got everything in front of him right now. He was the reason the Browns went ahead in the first half. He was also part of the huge reason why they are behind with the 2 early turnovers here in the third, but he has a chance to make amends.
Absolutely. This is an opportunity for him to show that, you know, this was his game to come back and win a ball game against his former team. As he calmed down, we shall see as the game goes on in the fourth quarter. He was very excited early on.
Movement. Let's see if Charles Johnson was drawn off sides.
False start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty. Still second out.
He was by Pork Chop Womack.
Womack right here. Womack right there. Just got out of his stance a little too quick. But I can see why Charles Johnson can give you fits. So he's just trying to beat him to the punch too soon.
So now 2nd and 17 for Delhomme and the Browns. Delhomme, quick hitter to Robisky, gets it back to the original line of scrimmage.
That's a safe throw. That's just as good as a run play there. That particular throw to Robisky there on the slant route. These guys have looked pretty good together today. Number 80 Robisky and Delhomme. There's some chemistry between those two.
His game-high 6th catch of the afternoon. Still 3rd and long for the Browns, who have to get to the Panthers' 48. Delhomme hits Hillis out of the backfield. And another first down for the Browns as Hillis does the dirty work.
He does the rest. Just get him the football and he does the rest. As you see right here, Beeson right here has this guy. He's looking at Hillis coming out of the backfield. Has him somewhat man-to-man in some type of zone, and he comes up. He's got to make this tackle right here, Beeson. He's been having a really good day today, but he has to make that tackle.
Hillis, 22 carries, 6 catches, a little beat up, asked out for this play, so Mike Bell standing next to Delhomme in the backfield. Delhomme, a quick hitter to Massaquoi. Beautiful throw and catch for another Cleveland first down inside the 35.
Mohamed Massaquoi right here in the slot right there. Base 31 Richie Marshall. Quick slip on the inside. And what a dart by Jake Delhomme to Mohamed Massaquoi there on the inside.
We talked about the 2 second-year players, Massaquoi and Robisky. They have combined for 10 catches and 93 yards this afternoon. And now the Browns getting in Phil Dawson territory. Approaching the 3.5-minute mark here in the game. Delhomme looking, flags down, and another catch by Robisky.
This is the production.
And Delhomme is signaling it's against the Panthers.
Offside. Number 96 for the defense. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is second down.
So once again, it's the law firm of Delhomme and Robisky.
Quick slant there. Show some power, some strength. This guy understands how to play the wide receiver position. His dad is a coach. He coaches wide receivers. He knows how to play the receiver position.
And look at the job Jake Delhomme has done on this drive after having a miserable third quarter. 2nd and 1, and the Browns are going to operate out of the shotgun. Inside handoff to Hillis, wrapped up quickly by James Anderson. And Hillis looks like he's a little shy of the first down.
Great job of filling the hole, Anderson. You see him as he shoots right in there. He fills the hole and he meets him at contact. So you got to get to him before he gets going.
Well, the Browns tried to do a quick snap there as Delhomme took it himself, and looks like he didn't even get close. So here you see it was just Delhomme trying to plow forward. So they're going to measure. But what do you think of the quarterback sneak when you've got a guy like Peyton Hillis in the backfield?
Hey, that's the thing that I'm going to hand it to him as many times as I possibly can. Hey, Jake, I know you probably can get this first down on the sneak, but I got to go to my hall.
So he's got that much to go, and Phil Dawson is coming on for the field goal attempt.
And they tried to quick snap it there to catch him off guard. That still didn't work.
Well, Dawson with a dozen career game-winning or tying field goals in the last 5 minutes of a game. The senior member of the Cleveland Browns since they came back into the league in 1999. Last week, missed a pair of 51-yarders in Jacksonville. This one will be a 41-yarder to try and give Cleveland the lead. Wind not a factor, as you can see. High snap, Hodges gets it down, and Dawson puts it through. A great job by the punter, Reggie Hodges, to snag the high snap from Ryan Pontbriand.
He showed great hands there and the ability to get it down. You know, and sometimes when those snaps happen like that, can throw off the rhythm of the kicker. But he stayed with it, he stayed poised, trusted his hold in Hodges. He was able to follow through. And
you can see Eric Mangini in the background there doing the fist pump and saying, okay, we've got that lead. Just like last week in Jacksonville. They had the lead with over 2 minutes to go, but then a 75-yard screen play to Maurice Jones-Drew. He took it in a few plays later, and the Browns end up a little short. They are 1-5 in games decided by 7 points or less this year, and now their defense has got to make a stop.
Now, this has been a heck of a game. I mean, back and forth. Carolina, Cleveland. Carolina scores. Cleveland scores. Carolina gets the stop. I mean, the back and forth, and it seems like it's going to go down to the wire between these two teams.
Carolina has all 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. First things first, the kickoff from Dawson, the rookie out of Baylor, the 6th-round pick David Geddes, standing at his own 5. Taken at the 10. Geddes with some space and upended at about the 30-yard line. Tackle by T.J. Ward. Well, this Thanksgiving weekend, join the NFL in its continued commitment to making the next generation of youth and families the most active and healthy. Join the movement and the pledge to play 60 at NFLrush.com. In fact, 11 youth ambassadors got to play with the big dog before the game. So go out, get your activity, play 60 each and every day. Well, Jimmy Clausen, just a youngster himself, now with a chance to lead a game-winning drive for the first time in his career. Goodson in the backfield, Smith and LaVelle to the left, and now that's Smith in motion. He just gets it off, swings it out to Goodson, and a good tackle there by Sheldon Brown as the clock continues to roll with under 2.5 minutes to go.
And this is a good time for them to find their guy again, Steve Smith. It's got to be open somewhere down the field. They have to come up with some type of play to get the guy the football.
And clock has been stopped. Marcus Bernard is the injured Brown. Well, don't forget, this is just the first end of our doubleheader here on Fox. After us, one of 2 great games coming your way. It's America's Game of the Week. Michael Vick and the Eagles. Many of you will see them take on the Chicago Bears in a battle of first-place teams. The rest of you will get the Bucks and the Ravens. While the Browns tend to Marcus Bernard, we'll take a break. 2:17 to go in Cleveland. Browns lead it by 1. 2nd and 10 for Jimmy Clausen and the Panthers as the refs have restarted the clock. Browns showing blitz. And here they come. Inside handoff to Goodson, and he is wrapped up by Sean Rogers and David Bowens. And that will take us to the 2-minute warning. A good one brewing in Cleveland. Browns with a 1-point lead. The dog pound making some noise in Cleveland. Browns up 1, 3rd and 6 for the Panthers. Clausen out of the shotgun. Hits Rosario for a first down.
Good job by Clausen, recognizing the coverage. And here's Rosario there in the slot, and he just beats 41, crosses face for easy first down.
He beat Ray Ventrone on that play. Clausen looking downfield, throwing, and the ball is intercepted by Joe Hayden, and he gets down. The first pick of the Browns picks off the first pick of the Panthers this year. And perhaps that seals it for Cleveland.
Here he is on the far side of the field. You see Joe Hayden right here, down, man coverage. It's a two-man look, and he just runs and he looks back to the quarterback. And Clausen just makes an errant throw, and it just falls right into Joe Hayden's hands for interception. I said early in the broadcast today that he was going to have an opportunity to make a play, and he sure did today to maybe seal this game for the Cleveland Browns.
His team leading 4th interception this season for the 21-year-old out of the University of Florida. Panthers still with all 3 timeouts. Hillis keeps the feet churning, and he gets close to the 40-yard line. And the Panthers will use their first timeout. And for those of you just joining us, let's recap what's happened. Jake Delhomme making his first start since opening day, going against his old team, came out on fire. But his first 2 passes in the second half were intercepted. 1 was returned for a touchdown. Peyton Hillis, the battering ram, and he will have the bruises to show it tomorrow.
Yes, he will. And what a job Jake Delhomme done in the latter part of this game here in the second half. He struggled there initially coming out with some picks, but he was able to improvise there to set him up for the field goal. That's
just the first part of our NFL Sunday doubleheader action. America's game coming your way either from Chicago or Baltimore once we are done. Jimmy Clausen hoping he is far from done. Carolina, 2 timeouts. 2nd and 7. It is Hillis. Gets to maybe the 40. And another timeout by Carolina. And as we told you, Jake Delhomme came out on fire, and so too did Peyton Hillis. 3 rushing touchdowns in the first half. But in the early part of the second half, Delhomme picked off on consecutive passes, one by John Beeson, that by Munnerlyn, returned for a touchdown. That got the Panthers within 1. Carolina took the lead on a field goal, but Jake kept it alive with a pass to Hillis, and then the 41-yard field goal by Phil Dawson gave a clapping Eric Mangini the lead. And then you just saw it. Clausen, the 2nd rounder out of Notre Dame, picked off by the 1st rounder out of Florida, Joe Hayden.
Good job. It was two rookies there battling with one another. It looks like Joe Hayden won the battle on that particular play.
So a huge 3rd down now. Cleveland's got to get to the Carolina 34. They'll keep it on the ground with Hillis protecting the ball and still going forward, and that gets them to the 37. And Carolina will use its 3rd and final timeout of the game. Of course, we talked about Jake Delhomme, and cut March 5th by the Panthers, signed by the Browns 10 days later. The Panthers then a month later drafted Jimmy Clausen out of Notre Dame in the 2nd round. He's making his 5th start today. You can see the numbers, both bitten by the turnover bug.
And Jake Delhomme has been impressive. He's 24 for 35. The only thing about him is the turnovers, but he's played fairly good, and he's played well when it mattered.
So now 4th and 2, and the Browns are going to punt this one away. Eric Mangini is going to put some trust in Rob Ryan's defense and say, listen, if the Panthers can go the distance with a rookie quarterback and no timeouts, congratulations.
Absolutely. And what I anticipate them doing is trying to get some pressure with their guys up front and just sitting back in some zones and to let Jimmy Clausen beat them down the football field with his arm.
Munnerlyn, a dangerous punt returner. We saw him rip one off for 33 yards earlier in the game. Hodges, who leads the league in punts inside the 10-yard line, is going to get another one. a great day for Reggie Hodges. Remember, he came up with a critical save on the high snap on the go-ahead field goal by Dawson, and here with a beautiful punt to pin the Panthers.
Absolutely. I mean, it's two great plays by Hodges in the special teams.
Hodges getting some congratulations and well-deserved from his teammates.
Absolutely.
And now Eric Mangini, he can snip that 4th win of the year. Well, after today, they're going to start a 3-game road trip, Miami, Buffalo, and Cincinnati, before wrapping it up against AFC North powers Baltimore and Pittsburgh. So under a minute to go for Jimmy Clausen with no timeouts left. He's got to go probably 70 yards to get in field goal range. Goodson out of the backfield, gets out of bounds, and gets the first down. So the Panthers, they came in today 1-9 to a man. They told us that they will not quit on that man, John Fox.
And John Beeson spoke emphatically about how John Fox's football teams just continue to fight. And I had an opportunity to speak with Michael Strahan, one of our guys back in the studios with Fox. And he said John Fox is a man's man type of coach. What that means is he challenges you physically as a man.
Well, now the challenge facing Jimmy Clausen, get downfield in field goal position with no timeouts. Browns blitz. Clausen just throws it away wisely. Look at Rob Ryan.
He wants some of the action, doesn't he? He's feeling it.
How's that family during Thanksgiving, you think?
Oh,
Between Rex, Rob, and Buddy.
Oh man, there's a bunch of football talk and probably kids banging off the walls. I mean, this group here loves, this family, I should say, loves football, and they love defensive football.
2nd and 10 for Clausen. 47 seconds to go. Clausen just gets it off. Browns blitz again. Pressured by Roth and incomplete as he was looking for Steve Smith.
Looking for Steve, he just has to get the ball up. He just has to get the ball up. I don't know if he may have gotten pressured there. We had to maybe step off his turf and he couldn't step into his throw, but that ball has to be up so Steve can catch it.
And Clausen has taken a beating back there.
That's one of the few times this half they went to Steve Smith. I mean, the Carolina fans have to be saying, what is going on?
Smith with just 2 catches today for 33 yards. 3rd and 10, play clock at 5 seconds. Remember, they don't have any more timeouts left. And they just get it off. Clausen, pressured by Roth, throws it, and Goodson makes the catch in front of Gokong. And he's got some room to run across the 40. And grabbed by Joe Hayden, but he stays on his feet, and he's still on his feet, finally dragged down by Ray Ventrone. However, the Panthers have no timeout, so they're going to have to get upfield and stop the clock. Clock is running with 15 seconds to go. And they stop it. An amazing effort by Mike Goodson.
Amazing. I mean, the guy does not quit. Look at the effort. He is trying to get his football team in position to win this ball game. There's no quit in him. Now, that's what John Fox likes. There's no quit in him.
So now the Panthers at their own 48, no timeouts left, 12 seconds to go. John Casey's long this season, 55 yards. So that would mean they would have to get about to the Browns' 38. And it looks like the Browns are going to call a timeout. If you're a Cleveland fan, this is just basically old hat. And it looks like Reese Lloyd, who's the kickoff specialist and has the stronger leg of the 2 place kickers, might get his shot.
Yeah. Well, they got to take a shot, obviously, down the football field, but it's got to be towards the sideline if they can. They want to try to stop the clock. There's no timeouts. They have no timeouts left. 12 seconds, no timeouts left. So it has to be a deep ball thrown, deep out or something thrown to the sideline where they can try to get out of bounds to preserve some clock. But you got to think, they got to catch the ball, then they got to spot, then they got to get the field goal team out onto the football field. So I don't think you'll see anything in the middle of the field.
Well, you figure that if the Panthers have to go from about 60 yards, it might be that guy Lloyd. Anything a little closer, the veteran Casey might get his shot. 12 seconds to go. Browns rush 3. Clausen looking for LaFell, and he's got it, and he's out of bounds. It is a catch at the 25, and John Fox is signaling to spike the ball. I guarantee you he doesn't want the replay booth to have a look at it. Remember, Mangini cannot challenge a call, and that is a smart play by Jimmy Clausen and the Panthers.
Play.
So it looks like the Panthers did not get that snap off in time.
Oh, he's going to run us just a quick 7 route there to the sideline that I mentioned earlier, and just a really good throw and good ball awareness, way to track the ball by number 11, David by LaFell, and was able to catch it, and looks like he got out of bounds.
Now, once again, he has to maintain possession. Did he the entire way?
Oh, it looks like it was looks a little wobbly underneath there, Chris. Let's see it again from this angle. Right there. Oh, I couldn't see it in that angle.
Once again, there has to be conclusive evidence to overturn the ruling on the field, which was a catch. And once again, we're going to head out to Los Angeles in the Fox Command Center, where our man Mike Pereira was watching that whole play unfold. Mike, what did you see?
Well, I'll tell you what, this is another one where they got to look at a couple things, but only one's going to be reviewable. You know, is it a catch? Is it not a catch? You're going to see the ball go in here. He's got control when he hits the ground. I think the ruling of catch will stand. Now, another question, was he touched by the defender before he rolled out of bounds, which would therefore kill the clock as they ruled on it, or did he go out in his own? That the clock is not reviewable. So no matter what they ruled, and they ruled that he got out of bounds, that aspect's not going to be reviewable. So little double review here, but again, I think they stay with the call on the field of a catch because you really didn't see enough of a bobble to say that he lost possession.
All right, Mike Pereira, we appreciate it. And in your opinion, was John Fox trying to stop the clock so that then that counts as a full play and thus the previous play is not reviewable? Is that what he was doing there?
Well, I think he was going to try to get it off, but if you look at you could actually see Jeff Triplett was grabbing for his the buzzer, so he was getting paged early, and I think as he's trying to get the thing shut down to kill the play and allow for the review, I think the buzz was plenty ahead of time. But yes, you know, he wants to get that play, get him up to the line of scrimmage, even with the clock stopped. He's going to want to spike it to avoid the review.
All right, Mike Pereira, former head of the NFL officials, now working for Fox from the Fox Command Center. We appreciate it.
That ball is caught. That ball is caught. That's a good job. That's the only thing they can look at is, did he touch him before he went out of bounds? But again, Clausen putting it up there, giving his receiver an opportunity to make a play, and number 11, LaFell, making the play for this football team. I mean, two young guys.
So now here comes Jeff Triplett.
After review, the ruling on the field stands.
All right, so Mike Pereira, you made the right call, and we appreciate it from the Fox Command Center. Eric Mangini cannot believe it.
Thanks, Mike.
So now, John Casey. We saw Reese Lloyd warming up earlier in case they needed a long field goal attempt. This one very makeable for the veteran from 42 yards out. Casey to give Carolina the lead. It's no good. What an amazing drive by Jimmy Clausen and the Panthers. And the veteran could not deliver. Off the upright as time expires.
Ooh, just to the left. Everything was perfect. Snap hole. Casey just missed it.
The Cleveland Browns. Once again, another game decided by under 7 points. John Fox, his first ever 10-loss season. Eric Mangini, just a relief to get out of here with a W. The man who's lost more than 60 pounds in the last few months sweated a few more out of the system. Torrey Holt, hope you enjoyed it this afternoon. It was a great game here in Cleveland.